Farah, from your experience being a creative director, when you see new content creators,
Yeah.
You often tell me that they are fresh, so we need to put them in some sort of framework, so that they understand what works and what doesn't work. Because sometimes they are too young, they may not understand business logics. So then you have to teach them a little bit of business logics. And at the same time, you also argue like it doesn't stop the creative process. It kind of makes it better.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Okay, one thing about fresh content creators is that, they might have the best ideas, but most of the time, executing it or putting it into the bigger picture is where the problem lies. So it's mostly figuring out what exactly to do in certain situations. So of course, like understanding the business, what the goals are and everything, is something that these younger content creators need to go through and learn slowly along the way.
How do you put these younger content creators into like a framework?
Okay.
And then make them at the same time, don't box them, they still can be creative. So how would you balance that, like framework and why is it needed?
Okay, why is the framework needed? So I find that having the framework or working within certain constraints actually makes you much more creative.
I agree.
Because knowing how to play within the
sandbox.
The sandbox, it pushes you to a certain to think outside of it. Well, even though you're stuck inside. Yeah, and it's not just there's this I think we often associate like the Gen Z to follow trends. Like they tend to follow trends rather than because it's like the safe thing to do. But also these are the people who tend to like create new trends. So that's why I also like that. The fresher ideas will always come from the younger generation rather than people who might be more experienced. So how it works, I feel like the framework definitely is like just a guideline for them to grow into a certain mindset when creating content. But definitely it's just a framework again. At the end of the day, usually sometimes also breaking the rules help. So the framework is just there as like
framework helps you to break the rules,
it helps you
right?
break the rules, and it helps you explore newer ways of creating content.
Fair enough.
So I think like here at Herbet we have a certain framework of like when it comes to strategizing or planning content. Most of the time we try to stick to that, but at the end of the day, it's always about experimenting with newer type of formats every single day. And I think even internally what we do is that we always we often look back at what we've done, and also try to spice up things every now and then, just so that we're always on the right track, rather than sticking to a certain formula. So I like what we talked about the other day, which was about the IDA framework. That was what created back in 1800s, which is crazy that we still follow now, considering that we've changed so much in terms of marketing, right? So although something that's created way back then and is considered like proven, tested to be functional, and it's a good framework, but I feel now we have multiple ways of coming out content rather than sticking to one sort of way. And again, goes back to not every client requires a certain, not everyone, you
can't templatize it.
You can't templatize things, you need to change it up according to people, according to different businesses.
Because some businesses are still one way. It's the communication is just still one way. And they don't require, probably the old framework would work for them. But most younger businesses are two ways. That means like you have had like a television or theater, you only consume, it's one way direction, right? But now you're bidirectional. You can comment, you can interact, you can like, you can So all this bidirectional kind of communication is the models have not evolved for this.
Yeah.
I feel definitely we have to think out of the box. So that's why we have our own frameworks,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of frameworks kind of like helps you to think out of the box and break the rules a bit.
Yeah, break the conventional rules
Yes.
of, marketing, but also at the same time we're constantly updating it. Whenever we feel like something is going into a new direction, we're constantly thinking like, oh, should we switch it up? Is
Right,
it time
right.
to switch it up and stuff like that? Yeah. So I feel like that's the fun part about
Nice.
creating content, is that you need to constantly adapt, and you're there's multiple things to create.
Fair enough.
So I know.
Cool.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it does.